As a cozy gamer, I'm always searching for games that are heartwarming, wholesome, and cozy. But most importantly, games that are full of emotions, whether that's hope, nostalgia, love, sadness, or even grief. In this video, I'm curating cozy games that do just that for me. Some of these games are lesser known and rarely spotlighted, so please cozy up and stick around because you might find them as heartfelt as I do. Let's start with A Space for the Unbound. Set in a beautifully detailed rural Indonesia during the late 90s, A Space for the Unbound is a slice of life adventure that follows two high schoolers, Atma and Raya. The core mechanic involves space diving, entering the hearts of the townspeople to help them confront their internal struggles, from deep-seated anxieties to lost dreams. Even as the story explores some heavier themes regarding mental health, the world remains vibrant and full of life, filled with stray cats to pat and hidden secrets to discover. The connection between the two protagonists feels incredibly authentic, serving as an anchor even when things take a supernatural turn, emphasizing that even the most broken parts of ourselves can be mended with a bit of understanding and companionship. In Season A Letter to the Future, you play as a young woman who leaves her secluded village to document the world before a mysterious season comes to an end. The gameplay is built around cycling through vast, beautiful landscapes and using tools like a camera, a tape recorder, and a journal to achieve the culture and history you encounter. There is no combat or pressure. The focus is entirely on observation and the act of preservation. As you meet the inhabitants of this world and record their stories, you're essentially creating a love letter to a world in transition. It's a meditative, deeply peaceful experience that encourages you to find beauty in the fleeting moments and appreciate the value of simply bearing witness to the world around you. Reviver is a narrative puzzle adventure that tells a deeply personal story about a father who is granted the ability to travel through time to save his daughter. The gameplay revolves around navigating two different timelines, where your actions in the past have immediate visible effects on the world in the present. It's a very tactile and deliberate experience. You're shifting through memories to solve environmental puzzles like clearing paths or finding objects that were lost to time. While the premise touches on the weight of loss, the game maintains a cozy, atmospheric feel and contemplative pacing. The connection between father and daughter is the driving force behind every interaction, making every successful puzzle feels like a meaningful step closer to a reunion. It's a thoughtful look at how our choices ripple through time, emphasizing that even when things feel final, there is always a way to mend the breaks and find a path back to the people we love. Pine, A Story of Loss is a short, wordless experience that focuses on the quiet, everyday rituals we use to navigate life after a significant change. You play as a woodworker who has recently lost his partner, and the gameplay is built around simple, tactile interactions like brewing a morning coffee, tending to the garden, or carving wood in the workshop. While the house feels empty, there is a steady, calming rhythm to the mechanics that suggests a slow return to peace. The hand-drawn art style and the soft soundtrack create a safe space to sit with these heavy emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It's a grounded look at how physical spaces hold onto memories and how eventually those same spaces can become a source of comfort again as you find a new way to move forward. Forgotten Fields is a narrative adventure about Sid, a writer struggling with creative block who returns to his childhood home one last time before it's sold. The gameplay involves exploring the house and town, meeting old friends, and performing small nostalgic tasks that trigger Sid's memories. You also play through sections of the book Sid is writing, which reflect his own journey of finding his footing in adulthood. It's a very relatable story about the passage of time and the bittersweet feeling of saying goodbye to a place that shaped you. The sun-drenched visuals and the focus on small-town life create a warm, inviting atmosphere, ultimately showing that saying goodbye to the past is often the first step toward a new and inspired chapter. The Star named EOS is a first-person narrative puzzle game built entirely around the mechanic of photography. You play as Dei, a young photographer following a trail of photos left by his mother, and you use your camera to recreate past images to uncover the story of her disappearance. The gameplay is centered on environmental storytelling and clever perspective-based puzzles that require you to look closely at the world around you. As you solve these puzzles, you're not just finding clues, you're reconnecting with the memories and the love that were left behind in these snapshots. The warm visuals and the focus on capturing beauty in the mundane make for a very soothing experience, suggesting that even when someone is gone, the way they saw the world still remains. Until Then is a cinematic adventure set in a contemporary version of the Philippines that feels incredibly lived in and authentic. You play as Mark, a high schooler navigating the usual ups and downs of teenage life, texting friends, practicing for a school performance, and dealing with family expectations until a strange mystery begins to unravel the fabric of his world. The gameplay is narrative-driven, featuring clever mini-games that mimic daily digital life like scrolling through social media or typing out a text. Despite the unfolding mystery, the heart of the game is the resilience of Mark's friendships and the way the community supports one another. It's a relatable story that captures the specific warmth of Filipino culture and the strength found in staying connected even when things start to feel uncertain. In Gris, you guide a young girl through a world that has physically crumbled away, mirroring her internal journey as she navigates a season of life where she's lost her voice. The gameplay is fluid and forgiving with no combat or threat of death, allowing you to focus entirely on the atmosphere and the sense of discovery. As you progress, her dress gains new forms, like becoming a heavy stone to anchor her in a storm, or flowing into a cloak that lets her glide gracefully through the air. You spend your time collecting tiny sparks of light to build constellations, which in turn restore vibrant colors to the scenery, turning the simple act of movement into a beautiful exploration of the resilience and the steady strength it takes to keep building something new from the pieces of the past. Layla is a narrative-driven point-and-click game that explores the different stages of a woman's life through the lens of her memories. The gameplay centers on interacting with everyday objects, a childhood toy, an old letter, a piece of jewelry, each of which triggers a flashback to a pivotal moment in Layla's past. The hand-drawn, sketchbook-like art style gives the experience a very personal, intimate feel, as if you're leafing through someone's private journal. As you piece together the narrative, you see the small victories and the quiet regrets that make up a whole life. It's an introspective experience that highlights how the ordinary moments are often the ones that define us most, ultimately offering a very graceful perspective on the passage of time. Open Broads follow a mother and a daughter, Taz and Opal, as they set out on a road trip to explore abandoned family properties and uncover long-buried secrets. The gameplay is built around first-person exploration of these forgotten spaces and a deep, branching dialogue system that feels very natural. As you dig through old boxes and hidden notes, you're not just uncovering a mystery, you're navigating the evolving relationship between two leads. The hand-drawn character animations provide a nice contrast to the 3D environments, making the intimate conversations feel very expressive. It's a story about the layers of family history and the realization that your parents are people too, turning a simple road trip into a meaningful journey of reconciliation and understanding. Venba is a short, narrative-driven cooking game that tells the story of an Indian immigrant family in Canada. You play as Venba, a mother who tries to reconnect with her son and her heritage by recreating lost family recipes from a damaged cookbook. The gameplay involves solving puzzles to figure out the correct techniques for traditional South Indian dishes, with the sizzling sounds and vibrant colors making it a truly sensory experience. Beyond the kitchen, the story explores the challenges of starting over in a new country and the way food serves as a bridge between generations. It's a warm, vibrant look at cultural identity, showing how a home-cooked meal can carry a lifetime of love and help keep a family's roots alive across any distance. Door Down uses a stunning hand-painted watercolor art style to evoke the feeling of a hazy summer in the French countryside. You play as Mimi, a woman who returns to her late grandmother's house to recover lost childhood memories. The gameplay alternates between the present and Mimi's childhood, where you perform simple sensory tasks like taking photos, collecting local sounds, and scrapbooking your findings. It's a tactile game that focuses on the physical joys of being a kid, the feeling of grass, the sound of a stream, and the taste of a fresh snack. It's a nostalgic and gentle exploration of the bond between a grandmother and her granddaughter, reminding us that the warmth of our childhood summers is something we can always carry with us. Before Your Eyes is a unique narrative game that uses your webcam to track your blinks, which serves as the primary way you skip forward through time. You play as Benjamin Bryn, revisiting key moments from his life as he tells his story to a mysterious ferryman in the afterlife. The blink mechanic creates a profound sense of the fleeting nature of time. Often, a beautiful moment will end just as you're starting to settle into it. While the story touches on deep regrets and lost opportunities, it ultimately emphasizes the incredible weight and value of the small, everyday moments we often take for granted. It's a technically impressive game that delivers a deeply personal and life-affirming message about what it truly means to have lived a full life. The Stillness of the Wind is a slow-paced, atmospheric game about aging and the dignity found in a simple life. You play as Talma, an elderly woman who lives alone on a small farm, tending to her goats and garden while her family sends letters from the bustling city. The gameplay is a repetitive cycle of daily chores, milking goats, making cheese, and collecting eggs, which emphasizes the quiet persistence of her routine. As the world around her grows increasingly quiet, the game explores themes of solitude and the connection to the land. It's such a peaceful, somber experience that requires patience, but it rewards you with a profound sense of grace and the realization that there is a quiet strength in staying true to your roots. Old Man's Journey is a visual narrative game about reconciliation and the beauty of second chances. The primary gameplay mechanic involves manipulating the hills and paths of the landscape to create a clear route for the elderly protagonist. As he travels across the stunning, storybook-style environments, he encounters sights that trigger wordless flashbacks to the family he left behind and the life he chose. The puzzles are clever but never stressful, serving as a physical representation of the emotional hurdles he's overcoming. It's a brief, impactful experience that uses its vibrant art and soaring soundtrack to tell a story of forgiveness, showing that no matter how far you've wandered, the path home is always worth taking. To the Moon is a classic narrative adventure that focuses entirely on its story rather than combat or complex mechanics. You play as two doctors who use a special technology to enter the memories of a dying man named Johnny, with the goal of fulfilling his final wish, to go to the moon. As you travel backward through his life, you uncover the reasons behind his wish and the complicated, beautiful relationship he had with his late wife, River. The gameplay is simple exploration and light puzzle solving, but the writing is incredibly moving, balancing humor with deep emotional stakes. It's a story about regret and fulfillment that shows how even the most difficult memories can be transformed into something full of meaning and light. Raquin follows a young boy living in a hospital who asks his mother to take him into the fantasy world from his favorite book. Together, they explore a magical realm that mirrors the lives and struggles of the other patients in the hospital. The gameplay involves solving puzzles and helping your neighbors by addressing their real-world problems through their fantasy counterparts. It's a game that doesn't shy away from the reality of illness and pain, but it approaches these topics with incredible empathy and a sense of wonder. The music is a highlight, adding a layer of warmth to this touching story about courage and connection. It's such a beautiful reminder that even in the toughest circumstances, kindness and imagination can make the world a lot brighter. Spiritfarer is often called a cozy management game about dying, but at its heart, it's really a celebration of life and the legacy we leave behind. You take on the role of Stella, the ferry master to the deceased, and your job is to build a boat, gather resources, and care for the spirits until they are ready to move on. The gameplay loop is incredibly satisfying. You'll find yourself fishing, farming, and crafting favorite meals to make your passengers feel at home. Each spirit has a distinct personality and a story to tell, and the eventual goodbye at the Ever Door feels like a meaningful conclusion rather than a tragedy. It's a game that encourages you to take your time and cherish the small, daily interactions, turning the act of letting go into something genuinely beautiful and warm. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoy my curation of heartwarming, wholesome games because I genuinely love these games. Please give my video a like and a subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and comment below what game resonates with you the most. I've also linked more cozy gaming video here for you to binge watch. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye for now.